just passed 3 little girls on bikes. You saw 2 of them. The third one looked like she was about 8. And she was just by the entrance, all by herself, and she waved at me. Golly, I would not allow that. She could have easily just been taken by somebody.
Hey, Mark. Yeah, you know, what occurred to me when you said that about the kids just, you know, out on their bikes running around in the rural countryside without any adult supervision, apparently. I mean, the adults are probably nearby, but and your concern for their safety, it reminds me of how when I was a kid we never had that concern. And I lived in a suburban area, not really a rural area, but none of the kids ever worried about that. I mean, we walked to school together. In fact, school was just a little under a mile away from my house. We didn't take the bus. You know, we were in elementary school, and nobody ever had a thought that somebody would try to kidnap some kid, you know. And this was in the late 60s, you know. It just wasn't a concern. Nobody thought anything about kids running around by themselves, having fun, playing, you know, whatever they were doing, riding their bikes or whatever. But sadly, we live in a different world today, where there are plenty of predators amongst us. So it's interesting that you would sort of frame what you saw in that way, because I don't think you would have, you know, 50 years ago.
You know, the more that I think about letting those kids bicycle around, it's one thing to do that in Houston, Texas, in the city, but out here, I mean, it is much more safe, so the chances of a kidnapper driving out here and wanting to pick up one of those kids is so remote. So I think I don't blame them at all for letting the kids ride their bikes around.
Yeah, I just think it's really interesting that you know, our attitudes about that has so radically changed since the time when I was a kid, that we would even think those things. Isn't it just, well, sad?